stage
hydraulics at pressure.
will continue until the last 3 to 2 minutes of the countdown.
We should hear that call out RP1 load complete coming up in about 6 minutes. Again, RP1 is just that densified kerosene or that rocket fuel that Falcon 9 is going to be used to power Bob and Doug to orbit today.
And stage 1 fuel is closed out.
Right on time. That call out indicates that the fuel loading on the first stage is complete. Draining back the lines now, so first stage and second stage fuel are complete. Liquid oxygen loading is continuing on both stages. You can see on the view on the left side of the monitor the condensation, the cold gas wrapped around the stages as the tank skins are chilled by the densified liquid oxygen, picking up the humidity
Falcon
from the
9 is
Florida
on top
air.
line.
Hello, people.
Looks like at this moment we're a little more than 90% full on the oxidizer on the first stage, ticking up towards that 80% mark on the second stage. We'll be counting down all the way till about 2 or 3 minutes, as John and I just said, until everything is loaded
Falcon
in
9
Falcon
heaters
9.
closing out.
And then we will be go for launch.
Dragon has transitioned to configure for terminal count.
Vehicle tanks pressing for strongback retract.
Programming will happen after this launch succeeds or doesn't succeed.
We're pressurizing the Falcon 9 tanks. We're going to open the clamp arm around the second stage and begin to retract the strongback.
If you're going to take like a 10-minute break from programming,
We'll
a
move
historic
back about
space
2
launch is a
degrees.
good time to do
That'll
that.
get us to the liftoff position. At liftoff, the strongback will then recline about 45
Strongback
degrees
retract has
away.
started.
Stage 2 RP1 bleed.
Launch director called out the strongback retract has started. On the left, you'll see it go back just a couple of degrees.
Stage 1 RP1 bleed.
We are just 4 minutes away from liftoff. Again, at this moment, Bob and Doug are really just laser focused on those displays.
I can't get over that they keep
They have
saying Bob
insight
and Doug.
directly into Dragon and the Falcon 9. They're able to see where their fuel loading is at, how everything's progressing down with the count.
AFTS final setup started.
Canadians who are my age may know why.
3.5 minutes from launch.
And the strongback is now reclining away from the Falcon 9.
MVAC igniter purges. Pogo bleed.
Dragon has transitioned to terminal count and is on internal power.
Stage 1 LOX load closed out.
Okay, we're at T-minus 2 minutes, 42 seconds. Stage 1 LOX load is closed out. Stage 2 will continue to load for about another half a minute or so. Once we get the completion of Stage 2 LOX loading, we have to vent down the line, so you'll see another large white cloud coming off of the strongback. That'll be normal. That'll happen
Vehicle
around
is transitioning to internal
T-minus
power.
1 minute and 40 seconds. We're going on internal power now.
Just a few seconds away from the Stage 2 LOX load being complete. It's been almost 9 years since we've been in this position. A lot of work done by thousands of people to get to this point. All our eyes focused on 2 now.
Stage 2 LOX load is closed out. Propellant fills are complete.
Dragon is in auto idle.
Stage 2 LOX load complete. All fuel, all oxidizer on Falcon 9. 1 minute, 34 seconds to go till launch.
Ground gas closeouts is starting.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Dragon is in countdown.
FTS is armed for launch.
Yeah,
Under
probably
a minute
rockets
now, the FTS,
are
the
much
flight
easier to
simulation
program than
system, has
games.
been
I mean,
armed.
the threshold for bugs is much
Dragon,
lower.
SpaceX, go for launch.
That's for sure. But they're also a lot less complicated.
SpaceX Dragon, we're go for launch. Let's light this candle.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Stage 1 tanks pressing for flight.
The
T-minus
landing
15
system
seconds.
isn't more complicated? No, it's not. If you're saying that, you don't know how complicated a
10,
game is.
9, 8, 7,
It's not even close.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA. Go SpaceX. Godspeed, Bob and Doug.
America has
One
launched.
Alpha.
And so rises a new era of American spaceflight,
Stage 1
and with it
propulsion is
the
nominal.
ambitions of a new generation continuing the dream. 20 seconds into flight, stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
T plus 30 seconds into this historic mission. Flying crew on board Dragon and Falcon 9, and look at them go.
Falcon power telemetry nominal.
M1D throttle down.
We're throttling down to get ready for the period of maximum dynamic pressure. We're in the throttle bucket. Reports say all systems are go.
Vehicle is supersonic.
We've exceeded Mach 1 on the Falcon 9.
M1D throttle up.
We're throttling
Q.
back up to full power as we're through
Bravo.
max Q.
Copy, 1 Bravo.
And we heard that 1 Bravo call out. That's just the second abort zone that they're in. They'll continue to be on this until the first stage has done its job and they switch over to the second. At this point, Bob and Doug pulling about 2.3 Gs, 2.3 times the Earth's gravity, already moving
that
at
back
over
engine chill.
1,500 miles per hour.
We've heard the call out for MVAC engine chill. That's getting the MVAC engine ready to light. That'll come at about 2:44 into flight. Right now, everything continuing to look good. Next major event coming up is going to be the triple. We'll have main engine cutoff of the 9 first stage engines, stage separation, and then ignition of the second stage engine to continue to carry astronauts into orbit. Coming up in about 20 seconds.
M1D throttle down.
We heard we're throttling down the Merlin engines on the first stage. And we have Miko.
Eco.
2 Alpha.
Falcon stage separation confirmed.
Copy, 2 Alpha.
MVAC ignition.
All right, we have stage separation confirmed. The first stage beginning its flight back. The second stage being powered by that single Merlin 1D vacuum engine has ignited and is now
Acquisition of signal
carrying
loss.
Bob and Doug into orbit. So they're going to continue under the power of this second
Stage 2
stage,
propulsion is nominal.
which will cut off at SECO, or second engine cut off at about 8 minutes and 44 seconds into today's flight. So a little over 5 minutes to go still on this second stage. You heard the call out to Alpha, so they're now in the longest abort zone that carries them all the way from about North Carolina up the eastern seaboard almost to Canada. Things looking good though, getting good call outs, nominal propulsion on that second stage. Bob and Doug continuing to make their way into orbit.
Dragon SpaceX nominal trajectory.
Acquisition of signal in Bermuda.
SpaceX Dragon, nominal trajectory.
All right, here in nominal trajectory, so Dragon pointed in the right direction, continuing to make their flight uphill. Heard acquisition of signal Bermuda. That's one of the other ground stations that they're using to get telemetry and data back from this spacecraft.
Stage 2 propulsion is still nominal.
It's a long time before that stage is landing. It's kind of surprising.
A little over 4 minutes, 40 seconds into the flight. Bob and Doug flying at more than 5,600 miles
Dragon
per hour.
SpaceX nominal trajectory.
Already almost 200 miles
Nominal
downrange
trajectory.
from the Kennedy Space Center. Nominal trajectory continuing. And while they continue uphill, looks like we are getting a view of the first stage as well.
Yep, on your right screen, you can see that first stage with the grid fins deployed. It's making its way back to attempt to land on our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You today. And we're just about a couple minutes away from the entry burn, and that's where 3 of the 9 Merlin engines do ignite to help slow the vehicle down as it re-enters back into the Earth's atmosphere. And then after the entry burn will be the landing burn, which is just a single engine
Dragon
burn.
SpaceX nominal trajectory.
And you heard
Nominal
Starting
trajectory.
chill for entry burn.
there's that call out. They are still on a nominal trajectory on Dragon, still on second stage, and that's that MVAC engine on second stage on your left screen. Again, on your right screen is that first stage booster coming back towards our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You. We're about a minute away from entry burn.
Meanwhile, that second stage continuing to power Dragon into orbit. Again, if you're keeping an eye on that timer, that's going to continue to burn until 8 minutes and 44 seconds into flight. So a little over 2 minutes from now, we'll hear the call out SECO. It'll then be a little
Stage
under,
2 propulsion is still good.
a little over 3 minutes until Dragon physically separates from the second stage of the Falcon 9 after the upper
Dragon
stage gets a
SpaceX
chance.
nominal trajectory.
Dragon copies, nominal trajectory.
Continuing to check in with Bob and Doug as they are on a nominal trajectory. Just about 10 seconds away from that first stage, starting that entry burn on your right screen. We should be able to see that view live.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
And there is that entry burn
Acquisition of signal
beginning.
New Hampshire.
This burn lasts about 36 seconds long.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
While that entry burn continues, we're just about a minute away from SECO. We'll have a number of events all happen in rapid succession. It'll
Healthy
be the
shutdown.
second engine cutoff.
Stage 1
We'll
entry
be
burn
looking for
shutdown.
that stage 1 landing burn shortly after.
Actually, just within a few seconds of each other. Such a cool view on your left screen, seeing Bob and Doug on Dragon. Right now you can see the displays that they are seeing right now themselves.
Terminal guidance.
MVAC throttle step.
We are coming up 25 seconds or so away from SECO, or second engine cutoff.
This is also the point where Bob and Doug are experiencing their highest G-force. We're seeing the counter tick up to right about
Stage
1.8.
transonic.
Copy Shannon.
You heard Shannon, so that just means they're in their final abort zones. If they were to abort at this point, it would either be an abort to orbit or to land off the coast of Ireland. Standing by for second
Stage 1 landing
cutoff
startup.
confirmation.
MVAC throttle step. MVAC shut down.
Stage 1 landing letter.
Confirmation of SECO's second engine cutoff.
Now we are waiting for our first stage to make its way to our drone ship. Of course, I still love you.
Dragon SpaceX nominal orbital insertion.
Did
Launch
get
escape system
confirmation
is disarmed.
nominal
Dragon
orbital
copy.
insertion.
Nominal
Stage
orbital
1 landing leg
insertion.
deploy.
And what you're seeing on your screen is a live view of our drone ship, where our first stage will be coming down. Looks like we lost that live view, but we'll wait for confirmation of that landing shortly here.
Falcon 9 first stage successfully landed.
And
aboard
there you
full
can see
central
on
load.
your screen, Falcon 9 has landed. This is the first Falcon 9 to carry
Acquisition of signal
humans to
Newfoundland.
orbit, so very exciting for us. And as you can see on your right screen, Bob and Doug are still making their way to their targeted orbit.
M1D to recovery 1.
So exciting today.
M1D.
It doesn't stop.
It does not stop.
All right, we did hear again that call out, good orbital insertion, so that means Falcon 9 and Dragon right now exactly where they're supposed to be.
M1D to FRC on recovery 1.
And it's right at about 12
This
minutes
is FRC.
when
Can you
Dragon will
switch over to
separate.
ECF9?
Looks like we saw a 0G indicator floating around there. I know Bob and Doug owe us a little bit about what exactly that is that they brought up with them.
And before separation, before Dragon initiates separation from the second stage, they do make sure to they do ensure that the vehicle is not spinning and it is in good condition before we separate.
That's right, the upper stage does small attitude maneuver using some cold gas thrusters built into the rocket body itself.
Exactly. So we do expect that separation to occur in about a minute from now, but they do wait until they have full confirmation that it is ready to separate. Such cool views. I cannot get over this view that we are seeing right now. Bob and Doug on the right screen, inside of Crew Dragon, out in space.
Yeah, already 200 kilometers over planet Earth, or a little over 124 miles, traveling in excess of 2,700 meters. 27,000 meters per second, or about 16,000 miles per hour. Again, we're just standing by. That separation event should be coming up shortly. Then they'll begin a series of checks on the Draco thrusters that are going to be used to maneuver and then power Dragon on its flight to the International Space Station. Standing by for separation.
Expected loss of signal, Wallows.
It sounds like we had an expected LOS loss of signal with one of the ground stations. Waiting for confirmation now of that
Dragon separation confirmed.
Dragon separation confirmed.
There is a great view right in front of you
Countdown
of
1 is
Dragon
emerged.
separating.
Separation confirmed.
And there's that call out. Dragon is now officially making its way to the International Space Station today.
Dragon SpaceX with that separation call. We have a few words for you from our Falcon 19.
Standing by.
Dragon, Chief Engineer on Dragon to Ground. Bob Doug, on behalf of the entire launch team, thanks for flying with Falcon 9 today. We hope you enjoyed the ride and wish you a great mission.
Thanks, Bala. Congratulations to you and the F9 team for the first human ride for Falcon 9. And it was incredible. Appreciate all the hard work, and thanks for the great ride to space.
Copy all.
Oh,
Good
and
luck.
Mike, proud of you guys and the rest of the team. Thank you so much for what you've done for us today, putting America back into low Earth orbit from the Florida coast.
Copy all. Good luck. Godspeed.
All right, so Bob and Doug are in
And Dragon
space.
SpaceX, we confirm nominal ECLS activation and service section Draco checkouts. Nose cone deploys in progress.
Copy all. We're monitoring.
The Corps here in Hawthorne giving the crew a heads up that we have confirmation the nose cone is deploying. So again, that nose cone is going to open up a little bit more than 90 degrees, goes up to about, I think, 105 degrees, and that's going to expose the actual docking ring and the hatch that they're going to be going through once they attach to the International Space Station, and also 4 of those Draco thrusters, we call them the forward bulkhead thrusters, that are going to be used for these major phase burns or firings of those thrusters to actually raise their orbit gradually over the coming hours. Also heard good activation of the ECLS, that's the Environmental Control and Life Support System. That's everything controlling their atmosphere, just keeping Dragon a nice, safe, habitable environment where they're going to be living for the next 19 hours until they arrive at the space station.
Right, exactly. And Falcon
All right, so now it's time to make the
9's job may
cheeky
be
tweet.
done.
Let's do it. Let's do a tweet. Congratulations to Bob and Doug on today's historic launch, establishing a country's ability to put people into orbit. Once again. There we go. That is what we have to say about that. All right. Well, maybe we should program now. Actually, I want to go back and get a clip of the dinosaur.
At the controls.
This is like some NBC BS coverage.
Loud and clear, Bob.
We don't really want that.
Right. Approach and docking maneuver.
Where's the SpaceX stream? All right.
Control system.
From a wider shot.
Doug.
Falcon 9 did.
System
On this historic moment to take flight. As you can see, photos.
and we have the honor of having
Similar to
First stage.
and you heard
When did they have the
Starting
little
to-
inflatable dinosaur?
as that call out, they are still on a nominal trajectory on Dragon. Still on second stage.
was right
That's
after the
that
connection
NVAC
cut out.
engine on second stage on your left screen.
You mean the landing connection or the...
Again, on your right screen is that first stage booster coming back towards our drone ship.
After
Of course,
main
as
engine
similar
cut
to
off?
a few quick words. The crew did confirm their,
I'll go believe. Propulsion is nominal.
which will cut off at Seco.
We're throttling.
It's hard to zoom in on the right time when the video is so long.
All right, we have stage separation confirmed.
Okay, so that's main engine cut off.
MVAC ignition.
All right, we have stage separation confirmed. The first stage beginning its flight back. The second stage being powered by that single Merlin 1D vacuum engine has ignited and is now
Acquisition of signal
carrying
loss.
Bob and Doug into orbit. So they're going to continue under the power of this second
Stage
stage.
2 propulsion is nominal.
which will cut off at SECO, or second engine cut off, at about 8 minutes and 44 seconds into today's flight. So a little over
T
5
plus
minutes
10,
to go still
16?
on this second stage. We heard the call out for to land off the maneuver using some cold
I guess that
gas.
makes
Tends
sense.
to orbit, so very exciting for us.
And it's right at about 12
There we go.
minutes when drag. Falcon 9 and Dragon right now exactly where they're supposed to be.
And we need a FRC on recovery 1.
And it's right at about 12 minutes when
We'll take a good screenshot of this. All right. Maybe we could actually program. What do you think of that idea? What is the whole ocean thing about? Well, we talked about that a few times already, so I don't want to go into great length about it. But the idea being we only could ever have one, and we did a bunch of work to enable more than one structurally, but we haven't done anything to take advantage of that yet. And so now maybe we get to do that. Right. Right. Share stream. Is this an Eames? No, this is a Herman Miller embody chair. Do I like it? Yeah. I can always imagine things that would be better, though. Have I watched a rocket launch in person? I have not ever done that. Did I just wake up? Do I look tired? Let's see. Yeah, I do look pretty tired, don't I? I was doing a bunch of Sudokus last night and this morning, so yeah, I probably should take a nap later today to make up for some lost sleep. Special rules. I was playing the thermometer Sudokus. Okay. So I'm going to start making multiple oceans actually. Let's make a level. Let's make a level, the goal of which is to have multi-oceans. All right, like this one, but different. Oh, you know, actually, we need to address the thing that we left hanging last night, which is, wait, did we? Oh yeah, we didn't fix the thing about wrapping and all this being saw. Okay, so we have to do that. We can't do anything fun yet. There are several things we need to deal with. Okay. So the deal is going to be on levels where there are oceans, we sort of take the convex bounding, or just the bounding rectangle around all of the existing oceans, and that is the bounds of the level. On levels that do not have oceans, we still need to be able to do some things. So like if I go here, see these X's around the level? That's like how you control how big it is. For some reason, this one is too big and at the wrong Z now or something. So that's kind of crazy. I know it's not at the wrong Z, it's just the squares are big, right? You can't exactly tell where it is in space, but this thing is like the perimeter that says where you could validly stand. I'm not sure why it's as big as it is. In this case, maybe because we auto expanded it because somebody moved some frickin' objects around. Right, the auto expansion that we do, we maybe want to restrict that to gameplay objects. All right, so let's check this one. Yeah, these are all way too big right now. Okay, here's what I think. I think when we save the level, we size this grid based on gameplay entities and also oceans, which are gameplay entities now, right? Except that's not good enough because there could be like walls, like it's, We could expand it to include all gameplay entities, but you don't want to shrink it because you might be making the level too small. But right now we're expanding it too much, and so people are able to, like, can you just walk off this level now? No, because somebody put walls. See, right now we put all these walls manually, but you shouldn't have to do that. The problem is if we don't push the walls manually and someone maybe like moves a gameplay entity and then moves it back, if we auto expand the thing, then it breaks the level. Maybe we shouldn't worry about that. Maybe we should manually place walls. Or manually control the size of the thing. I don't know. Sometimes it's not obvious to know what should happen. It is volumetric fog. Yeah. It's possible we should have two different rectangles, one for gameplay region and one for like cosmetic something. All right. Here's what we're going to do. See, even on levels like this one, we kind of want to know how big the level is when we're editing it. And right now we don't draw that rectangle of X's when there's an ocean. But we also are trying to debug this problem where maybe that rectangle of X's is the wrong size, or maybe the problem is something else. So we're just going to draw it all the time, actually. If the ocean panel is open, all right? And then that'll clean up this code that I did that was a little bit messy last night. Yeah, this thing here that we only draw if there's no ocean map, we're just going to draw this always. Okay, so we're going to delete this comment that we typed. I'm going to get rid of these and do that there. Okay, so, and then whether there's an ocean map or not, we're gonna draw some things. Now, this depends on some variables that were being defined later. Okay. to rename these enums because the capitalization and name spacing is confusing me now. Okay, so if we're in render, we do this. Draw the X's around the valid gameplay region. And we're just going to redo like all this stuff again, because we might factor this into a totally separate function. Who knows? So just going to do this. Like, you know, whenever you're doing a game that like renders UI, you just do this kind of stuff all over the place. Okay, N0, that's the normal. And color OOB is this. Well, how do we handle text input? You don't want to make a VBO per key press. Why would you make a VBO per key press? First of all, why would you use OpenGL? That's absurd. Secondly, if you do use OpenGL, why would it need you to make a VBO per key press? That doesn't make any sense. VAO. I think with OpenGL, you just make one global vertex array object. Like I thought, isn't vertex array object the one that's just API garbage and shouldn't be there anymore? And you just make one and use it as a dummy? Like, I'm not sure. I don't remember. I don't like OpenGL. It's poop. All right, so we're going to open this, and we now see the X's. And the X's are not the correct size. Now they are, because we adjusted the ocean. But if we save, let's close it, let's reload. Is it, it's big again. Why is it big again? Does it happen after load or does it happen before save? Let's see. So we have this grid, it's 23 by 21. Or it should have been 19 by 21. 49438. So how is it on disk? 49438. Oops. Grr. Okay, 49438. Grid 23 by 21. So it gets changed when we save for some reason. Well, we could set a data breakpoint and see where it changes, but we could also just look for it, right? Because there's, okay, let's run a debug build. And there's an init size function. Oh yeah, we just had that open. I bet we're calling init size on settings. probably when we save for some reason. So here we are. We're going to shrink it in Y actually, right? Boop. That recomputed, the recomputation is successful. So now, are we going here on the way to save? No. But is it different? Well, 19 by 20 here, and on disk it's 23 by 21. And did this just save? Uh, 10:25 p.m. yesterday. So no, it is not saving the settings because we didn't tell it that we changed it. Okay, that's the problem. So the editor will only save out. Well, no, it's supposed to scan. I don't know, man. I have different policies about this sometimes. Let's go back to where was it? It was like due to something. Due to we were just editing it last night. Maybe expand level due to oceans there at the bottom. So ocean panel. Okay. Note change. That we resized that. And then maybe that'll get saved. Okay, so now the X's are in the right place. We save. Let's close it, load it. Hey, look, the X's are in the right place. So now if we do our thing that we did yesterday about, you know, really shrinking this down, maybe it won't be messed up now. Oh, it is. Great. Well, it's weird because I can't go off the edge of the map. So the edge of the map is in the right place, but like the objects are not. Some of the objects are not. This probably has to do with, okay. It's all right. Let's debug that. So I think it has to do with the fact that this is not on the origin, like I was saying yesterday. All right. I have to abort because I keep making a non-debug info. All right. So we're going to do this again. I think if I just do some stuff with, whoops, we don't want that breakpoint. Right, if I just do some shrinking like we did, and then I move this, shrink, move, and then I Control Z this. Dude, it never happens with this build. Okay. There is an x64 specific problem, I think. Hi, yi, yi. I don't think it's that I did things too fast. I think it literally, because this happened last night. I was trying to track down that bug, and it only happened in X64. Does anyone know what time Bob and Doug get to the space station? When does that happen? In about 18 hours. Okay. They're probably just chilling and listening to the Joe Rogan podcast. You can listen to a good 6 Joe Rogan podcasts in that time. Okay, so there are a number of things we have to do here. I mean, honestly, we should generate a mesh for the ocean square because we're going to want these to be, I'm just trying to think of all the different things to do. We're going to want these to not have to be square. Right now we're just sort of drawing a square, but in reality, when you have these like elevated and stuff, we're going to want them to be different shapes. So there's that. Initially, we don't have to do that. Initially, we can just make them be square and see what happens. There's all sorts of things that like I can't grab this and drag it like a regular entity right now. If I do drag it, everything's going to be confused. Okay. Let's start with something very, very basic. We're going to keep it inconvenient about like right now you can only control the ocean extents with like this panel. Which is not really what you want. I mean, you want to be able to use this panel, but you also want to be able to just move the object around. But first, we need to be able to have 2 of these. So like if I paste one, right now there actually are 2 of these in the world, which is great, but I don't know why it's putting it way over there. Oh, it's because it's wrapping or something. Yeah, we got to go into wrap display mode here. So we have 2 of these, and if it's drawing both of them, it's not doing it, you know, at the right Z coordinate. So we'll at least have the ocean Z coordinate represent where the ocean is, and if that breaks any levels, we'll be sad and have to go fix it. Okay, so there we go. So we've got one ocean that's big and long, and the other one is not. Okay, let's go do the rendering. So for each ocean map, Update ocean texture. You're just going to do that once. They're all going to share the same river data and stuff, and we'll deal with that later. Okay, so we say draw ocean. All right, that's in its own file. I don't know why we're doing this. Because we're passing the frickin' offset. This is probably getting reset later. Okay, draw ocean as another overload. Oh, at what z coordinate? Not ocean geometry z, but at map position.z. All right. Simple enough. So we didn't save that second ocean before, so we're going to do that. We're going to go here, select, paste. Oh, look. Look, we have 2 of these. And okay, so when it's resizing, it's not grabbing the selected one. It's grabbing the first one. So like I have this one selected, but we're shrinking the other one, which is not great. But you can see though, we have 2 visually. That doesn't mean that much because we have to fix a lot of things, but that's a step. That's a thing we couldn't do before. Now, when you edit the frickin' ocean, we could maybe generalize and let you edit multiple oceans later. Well, let's just see how hard it is. We're going to go to the... Oh, we're complaining more than one ocean. Let's take that out. So people are still calling get ocean map, which honestly, really nobody should do that anymore. Because again, this assumes that there's one. So and that's why, for example, so in manips is where we edit things. It's calling get ocean map, which is grabbing the first one. Let's go see what's happening in draw. Right, update ocean texture. Let's just see if we can do something here, because none of this makes any sense once you no longer expect the ocean to be the size of the level. So what are we doing? For every map, we go over every grid square of the original map. Okay. So what we actually want to do is iterate over that. And when we compute the destination index, well, how big is ocean texture bits? It's going to be based on the settings. So going to get rid of this. Okay, we're going to say We're going to stop assuming things like the settings is at the origin because we need to start fixing that. I was tempted to be lazy about it, but I am not. Okay. Dest. Stride is, no, let's just, so we're copying a smaller rectangle, you know, into a bigger rectangle, which hopefully is guaranteed. We're going to say, in principle, we are guaranteed that the rectangle representing settings, or the represented, big enough to contain each ocean maps, but we check anyway. For now, this makes it a bit slower. Okay. Okay, look, if there's no settings, we just return. Okay. So ocean texture bits, where does that come from? Oh, that's the maximum size. I see. I see. We don't need settings, maybe. Right. Okay. Let's see. I think we actually want dest j settings corner dot y plus j. Dest I is settings corner dot x plus j. If dest I is greater than ocean texture I, those are, yeah, greater than or equal to ocean texture I continue. So we're just bounds checking this. Okay, and then here, ocean texels per square. Interesting. So then this is dest j and dest I. So we used to assume that there was one ocean and it sort of went in the lower left of this texture. And now we're saying there's multiple oceans and they'll go wherever in the texture. The problem is they're all using one texture, which isn't good. So we're maybe going to have to figure that out. It's just whoever goes second is going to stomp whoever went first. But, so before we do anything else, let's make sure I didn't totally break that. Oh. Don't need a false. Oh, too early. It's grid dot. All right. Why are you talking about OpenGL? Don't. My advice is do not bother thinking about OpenGL anymore ever. It is a waste of your time. Okay, I screwed it up because we should be seeing rivers and stuff, and we don't. OpenGL is a waste of your time. Don't bother. Okay, see all this? See this? We didn't do it right. OpenGL is, I was going to say it's the JavaScript of graphics APIs, but it's actually not that bad. So, it is the, I don't even know. I can't come up with an analogy. Can't come up with an analogy. All right. What graphics API is the game using now? Unfortunately, OpenGL, but that is because that's what I started doing in 2014 when I just wanted to do something fast, and we haven't converted it. We have something that puts a triangle on the screen with Vulkan, so we'll probably build that out at some point. We just haven't done it yet. Is Vulkan any good? Not really, but it's better than OpenGL. But Vulkan is hard to learn and think about. Then use something else, but use something that has a future and that will not waste your time dealing with shitty garbage like OpenGL does. Okay. Yeah, I like DirectX more probably. Although I haven't really used DirectX 12, so maybe I would not like DirectX 12. Okay. What do I do here? My rivers are simply not showing up. Oh, well, first of all, if I actually put the right coordinate in. If you want to succeed in the game industry, use both the I and J coordinates. Don't just use the J coordinate, because then your rivers won't flow in the right places. You know what I'm saying? All right, so now we have an ocean and we could paste another one, and we're still going to have this problem where if we try to edit this one, we actually edit the lower one, because we haven't changed that yet. We just, we started looking at people who are calling that get ocean map that yields this error message and removing them. So lilies and rivers. That's going to be interesting. Like for lilies, oh, that's for, yeah. We'll leave that one for a little bit. Let's go to ocean. Who calls get ocean map? Set ocean info. So we're storing this on the ocean. We're just going to make a thing for now. So there are certain classes of problems that we're not really going to try to solve yet. So set ocean info is like what happens when you edit rivers, either in the editor or you know, in the game, like when rivers divert dynamically. And I'm not always sure, like I could say, hey, let's look for the ocean at the correct Z coordinate. But I don't actually know if we set the right Z coordinate right now for various things. I don't know. I don't know if we set the Z to be the level of ocean or the square of volume below it for various things, like when we move flow manipulators around. So we're going to have to fix all that slowly, but first we just want to get a frickin' ocean. So I'm going to say get first ocean map, and that's going to be like we're just going to get rid of get ocean map. We're going to no check in this. So, and we're just going to return the first one. And that's still going to spam us with errors like here in some cases, but it's fine. Okay. So now we've got a bunch of places who call this. See, we have to like hit test if you're editing an ocean and there's another one in front of it. Except that'll happen. Yeah, we're going to want to change a lot of this. Ugh. Okay. For here, we're just going to say, is there an ocean selected? Actually, where do we do get selection? I guess we do this. We say cell is get selection. Actually, let's do this outside this call. Update manipulation. Okay, so we go manipulate ocean, manipulate ocean. Okay. Let's figure out this is one of those gross things where, like, we're calling this manipulate ocean function if it's an ocean, but I need to figure out which oceans are selected, but I only want to do that because it could be slow in some pathological cases. I only want to do that if we're going to call manipulate ocean. What does finish do? Do we need it there? Yes. Okay. So, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to pass this in. And we're going to have a thing here that says and what this returns a value, but nobody cares, I guess. So whoops, let's delete this one. All right. We're just going to do that. That's all. That's all that does. And then here, we're going to call that. And we're going to say so we're going to turn this into an OR, right, so that we don't have to duplicate this body because it's going to get more complicated. Oh, this is a totally different... Okay, never mind. Never mind. Gonna do this. Okay, so we say cell is get selection for cell.entities if it.entity type is ocean map, array add ocean maps. All right. That's all that is. Gonna cast it. Okay, so now we just have all these other times that we're still calling get ocean map. This thing makes an ocean. I feel like we shouldn't need that. This was like just for the times when we had to, yeah. Ocean init. Similarly, I feel like we don't actually want this anymore. This was like an old, complicated way of doing things that we don't really want. That's commented. All right. Now who calls this? Oh, it's getting down there. Okay, undo. Why does undo? If it's an ocean change. We really should, the action should have the entity ID in it. Right? Right? Don't we usually like look up the entity ID? Let me look at this other case. Yeah. So here, attempt to handle an ocean change, but the entity doesn't exist. All right. Did we return after that? Continue. So, if we somehow got the wrong thing, it's not an ocean map. All right. Hopefully that works. All right. Manip still. Update ocean current index. Oh, this is for editing. All right, ocean panel. Ocean panel draw 2D stuff. I think we just do this. Okay. So where did we do our thing? We had our like we had our function that I was just editing. General 3D. Okay, so we have this. So now when we press the button on the ocean panel, instead of acting on one thing, we're going to act on all the selected ocean maps, right? Whoops. Okay, so we actually want this. So not there. Okay. Okay. We're going to need this earlier as well. Okay, the reason we need this earlier is because these guys are doing stuff too. That down there is that changing the size of the ocean quad, and this up here is like shifting the ocean's grid corner. And this one, or this one is the grid corner, and this one is the rotate the contents of the ocean internally to it. Okay, so we're just going to get this up here. Let's all right. So there, and then here. Okay. Well, there we go. Now, we didn't do this correctly. All right, so there's just 3 things, and then we get to figure out everything we broke. Is ocean present? That's just going to call this for now. Lilies and rivers. It's also going to call this for now. And editor. Add default ocean is same. Same. We're punting all those till later. Now, what did we just do? How horribly are we going to crash and barf? I don't know. All right, so right now we're not drawing the ocean editing interface because we don't have an ocean selected. Now we do. Oh, we deselect it every time. That's not good. That's not good. We don't want to do that. But it's working. Okay, so now if I make a new ocean and put it at a different Z, now I've got this one selected. Am I actually editing that one? Hard to say. Yes. I can't like rapidly do it because it's deselecting it every time, but there we go. So now we're actually able to edit the top ocean, right? And then if we want to do the bottom one, we can do that as well. So I'm gonna, come on, don't pick that, pick that. Okay, so I'm gonna move the bottom one in from the right. Boop. That's so weird. It's like clearing the selection, but it's not setting the selection history buffer. All right, so we have to fix that, but this is good. This is good. The XXXX border is still wrong. No, I think it's correct. The thing is, it's supposed to be a bounding box around all oceans. So, like, it's not supposed to be just around the bottom one, right? So this top one, you can see these blue squares that we're drawing are the dimensions of the top one, right? It's shorter this way and wider this way. And if I select the bottom one, right, those are the dimensions of the bottom one. Oh, you thought it was selected ocean highlight? No, this is like the boundary of the valid gameplay area of the level, which is a little bit of a loose concept that we're going to have to do more with. But yeah. Okay. I need to figure out why we're clearing the selection. It might have to do with that reset manipulator state that we're doing or something. I don't know. And then, I mean, maybe we will make the oceans have dynamic meshes like these. The problem is, I don't know, like, maybe we'll get rid of this ocean handle mesh. Because I think you can either have like a handle mesh or a dynamically generated mesh, but I don't know if we like do both at once, and I'm not sure it's worth it. Hard to say. Hard to say. Okay. Let's do that selection thing. Are there any on-topic questions about what just happened? I mean, I was just sort of doing some grunt work there for a bit, you know, removing some old assumptions about how things are supposed to work. We're not totally done with that, but we're making it better. Can you edit both of them at once? Oh yeah, we should be able to. I mean, again, it's going to be annoying because we haven't fixed the thing yet, but here, let me select one. I'll paste it. I'll raise it. Let's actually just edit this one first a little bit. I'm going to bring it in from the right, just so it's a different size. All right, so now let's select both of them. All right. Oh, we're not drawing the blue squares. We should draw the blue squares at the height of the ocean. That's another thing to do. So now let's pull them both in. So right now these both have 3 squares of like here, and it should bring them to 2, right? Boop, there we go, both of them. Boop, both of them. Boop. Okay, what's happening is when we edit these, it's actually destroying the entity and completely recreating it, which I mean, I guess I understand why I was doing that a long time ago, but I don't think we should do that anymore. Because if nothing else, that's really annoying for save games and diffs. Will lilies flow from one level and fall to the lower level? Sure. Why wouldn't they do that? What keeps the river and the ocean apart? That doesn't make sense. Well, look, man, that's just your opinion. What about the edited dimension? I have no idea what that question means. Now, if you asked, what about hot beverages? I do know what that question means. Can the oceans be clipped to other shapes? Not yet, but I think we're going to. They can't yet because we just draw a square for each one. But like I said, if we make them have dynamic meshes, which is work that I already did in the past for those wall cubes, then they could have irregular shapes. Did I figure out the assertion failure? No. But I think it's something to do with just the x64 build, because it doesn't seem to happen unless I run x64, so that's weird. You are curious how this work with gameplay. I mean, it's pretty obvious. What do you think would happen? What do you think would happen, man? Why does the X button have the X growing and shrinking? That is the button to close the level without saving. And rather than having an annoying confirm dialog box, what happens is you click it. You have to click it 3 times in a row. And the X grows every time. And if you wait after clicking it once or twice, it'll shrink again. So you have to like triple click, and then that's the visual indicator of how much you've triple clicked. Is the ocean being deleted and recreated because I didn't want to bother with implementing logic to mutate the entity in place? I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. It might have been what seemed like the best way at the time to avoid undue problems. Because like we don't... I think I was trying to avoid like storing the entire ocean array in the undo buffer, or maybe the system just couldn't handle it back then, and maybe it mostly does now. I honestly don't know. Okay, this wouldn't be here. It would be in the ocean panel. Okay, so resize ocean map is destroying the old one and creating a new one. Okay, so we're not going to do this clone anymore. We're not going to do this. In fact, we don't need that because whoever calls this is going to do this, right? Yeah, there's only one caller. All right. So instead of how does this work? New x times new y. And then new values. This is just an array of ocean infos. Okay, and then I mean, do I just have a resize? Oh, grid-like. No. Okay. All right, well. Ocean values. Oh, it's ocean value, not ocean info. Free. Ocean.ocean values.data. Like that. And then we'll just hope the undo system deals with that in a reasonable way. And if it doesn't, we'll be sad. Okay. Well, how's it going to go? What was I even just working on? My mind just totally blanked. Okay, we were doing this. Who knows? Like if I mess that up, we could crash or whatever. It could be very sad. Let's just see. So I'm going to select this, shrink. Oh, didn't like that. All right. I didn't make with debug info, but array bounds check failure. Ocean panel. Line 44. So we're not supposed to go bigger than the target, right? Because these are the min of the old X and the new X. Right? And we're not going over. Oh, right. So this is an array bounds check failure, but actually it's fine because it's just, this has a 0 count and we're just going to say going to say that. Let's start building with debug info though. Still, same problem, really. Really? Like, why does this take so long to open the debugger on this program? Like, what is even happening? All right. Panic, array bounds check, fail. Okay, old X should be one more than new X. It is. Oh, we're assigning to new. I just sleepwalked. I sleepwalked. I keep my F7. When I hit F7, it builds a non-debug data build, and it's not great in situations like this where it's very likely that you broke something. Okay. Hey, look, I can now more easily edit. And okay, so when we undo, we're not really saving the river data correctly, but honestly, I'm fine with that for now. Because we never did that. So here when we control Z, we're not. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that worried about saving undo for oceans right now. I mean, some stuff works. Like if I do this kind of edit, it works. Oh, no, it doesn't. Haha. All right. That's going to be in a separate category. I mean, it'll be annoying till I fix that, but all right. So if I make a second one of these, right? So I paste, I'm going to put it up, and then we're going to select both of them and do some edits. Right, and then just one of them, then just the other one. And then both. Great. Great. It's good. Oh, my tea is so oversteeped, probably. We'll see. It was second steeping. We'll see what happens. It might be undrinkable. Oh, hello, handmade hero people. What is going on? Do puzzle become interesting if river is allowed to stay in both ocean? I mean, I don't think we would do it that way. I don't think that's a good idea. You might get a limited number of puzzles out of that, but it's more interesting if you just do the obvious thing. I feel like I kind of want to run a Benny test and check in, but do we have a no check-in active? Oh, get first ocean map. Let's just leave that for now. We'll see if we survive a Benny test with get first ocean map in there. So The reason I want to check in is the next thing is probably making the mesh be dynamic. That's a mildly heavyweight thing. But then once we do that, we'll be able to select them more conveniently in the editor, which will be nice. And they'll behave more like regular stuff. Ha ha. Wow. That really didn't work. Wait, what? Let's just rebuild. I wasn't sure what happened there because there were like 2 windows opened. I have no idea what that was. Do I have level ideas? No, I haven't been thinking about it. This was a request from someone else who is designing levels. And it makes sense to me because it's something that I was thinking about before. So why not do it? All right. Okay, so we get like 2 debugger error. We have a bad problem. Why does it not happen in debug build? Maybe because of initialization of variable kind of thing. Oh, no, it does happen in debug. What? We just were running and didn't have a bug. Array bounds check fail. Minus 90,216. Okay. This is the thing. Okay, so we have an ocean somewhere that's like off the grid. Okay, this is weird. Let's see. So there is only one ocean. But it's at really weird coordinates. Okay, so we're loading a level. Whoops. Did I maybe save it after editing it at weird? It's at weird coordinates. And that is causing us to try to write to a negative index, which of course isn't good. Any tips for someone looking to get into the space industry? Okay. So, you know, all that's happening is that the corner here, settings grid corner, is at negative coordinates, which we should handle for sure. Yeah, this is wrong. This should be I minus settings.grid.corner.x, and then we should check for negative after that. This is I minus and J minus because it's like, how far into the thing are we? All right. I'm getting hungry. All right, let's make a debug build. Hey, look. I'm able to go on the overworld and drown myself. And then the camera pans in a sad way across the world for some reason. Because nobody's alive. That's a funny bug. Okay. Okay, well, let's trust that this will work well enough that we could just go for a Benny test across the game and see what happens. Time for $50 pizza. You know what? Honestly, that's a pretty good idea. I might order a pizza and then when it gets here, take a bit of a stream break, eat some pizza, chill for a minute, and then start a secondary stream. But don't worry, because it takes like an hour to deliver $50 pizza and it's cold when it gets here. So, you know. Okay, that is really messed up. That was bad. It wasn't drawing. Yeah, okay, some bad things are happening. But you know what? Now that I'm thinking about the pizza. So Arcadia Surprise crashed, but that level Alternatives, which I know because it's one of my levels, it like wasn't drawing the land. That's not good. Oh, because the ocean is too high. Okay. Now that I made it so that you could position the ocean anywhere you want, we actually need to sweep all the levels and search for oceans. Okay, so okay. Here, this was an old thing that we were scrubbing for, and here we're going to say instead, if it.position.z is not equal to 0, we're going to log print moving ocean map to z equals 0, z was whatever. It.position.z, right? Okay, so we're just going to do that for every level, and then we do a save. That's all. So I'm just going to do this. We're going to run this. I'm going to say, now I doubt that was the crash, right? Because that crash in one of the Arcadia levels is probably, those didn't even have oceans, so we're going to have to go look at that. But first, we're running this, and of course we've got our annoying error message that I still have never fixed, filling our log spammily. I have all these text messages. Spam text message. Message from an actual friend. All right. Have I played the latest God of War? No, I have not. All right. Search for the pizza place. This scrub would go a lot faster if it wasn't just outputting error messages to the console mostly. Blah. I should fix that. Okay, pizza. Large. Build your own. With that and 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 that. 8 toppings. 8 toppings at least. Oh yeah. Could go for 9. We're going to stay at 8. Sides. Vanilla cheesecake. Those are good. And let's order it. Indeed, even with the promotion, we got a $16 promotion for some reason. I'm saving 30%. After saving 30%, the price is $51.98. And then it wants me to tip in advance before I see how late the driver is and how cold. I mean, that's Uber Eats, man. That's how much it costs. And then it says 3:10, but of course it's going to be like 7:30 p.m. by the time it comes here. All right. So we ran this over all the levels. Let's go in the log. So all existing oceans should be at z = 0. Okay, ASD, bi-level endpoint beam, cascade, central mirrors. Yeah, so like several levels, 10 or 12 levels at least had this. So let's make sure that it actually modified them. Yep. Like if I open this, it's like, look, it was at 1, now it's at 0. Great. That is what we like to see. What we don't like to see is crashes. So why is this crashing? We didn't build with debug info because I keep not doing that. Bro. Why are we crashing? Update ocean check. Oh, still we're array bounds check failing on this. Oh, the source index. Do we just not have ocean values or something? What's going on? What's going on? Zero. This is probably just a really old, like I think Arcadia Surprise is a draft level, and you're supposed to be guaranteed that there's data, but if there isn't, we'll just punt for now. So some old draft levels don't have ocean values saved out in any way, even though there's some weird data manipulation or a bad merge might cause this. So for now, we range check the input value. If source index is less than 0, return. That's not really possible. If source index greater than equal map.ocean values.count continue. All right. Okay, so if there is no source data, because before that checking we were doing was for the destination grid, but we didn't check the source. Okay, is this Arcadia Surprise? Yeah. So this has an ocean map in it, even though there's no like frickin' ocean. So we're just going to delete that anyway. But yeah. All right. Great. Let's re-bunny test. One of these days we will get through it. Someone thinks pizza is weird. Isn't it in San Francisco that the pizza is somewhat mediocre? No, you're thinking of New York. I think you have your coasts confused. Actually, no, you're thinking of like Texas or something. In New York, the pizza is way worse than somewhat mediocre. In New York, the pizza is straight trash unless you go to somewhere, unless you go to one of the small number of gourmet pizza places. I lived in New York for a year. I know these things. I liked Two Boots. Have all the Two Bootses gone out of business yet? Even like Two Boots is trash objectively, but I like it. I like to go there and get a Mr. Pink. Let's see. But all the just like standard, you know, slice of pizza places like Ray's or whatever, straight up trash. locations. Wow, there's... Okay. There are two Bootses left in all of Manhattan. There used to be like 6 or 7. I'm not trolling. That's my legitimate opinion about New York pizza. If you talk to someone who's lived in New York their whole life, they're like, oh man, the reason New York pizza is so good is because the dough is so good because our water here is amazing or whatever. That's like what people say. And it's like, no, your pizza is terrible, guys. There are a couple of good places in New York. If you want to get good pizza, let's see if they're still open. So like Lombardi's Pizza is good. John's Pizza is good. Not Papa John's. Not Papa John's. But like the regular, like the Ray's Pizza and like all those kind of places, oh man, they're nasty. But like John's used to be good. I actually don't know. Like it might be bad now. Maybe I'm not even picking the right place. This doesn't look like the right place. I don't know. Anyway, most pizza in New York is makes grand controversial statements with a small exposure sample. Dude, during that year I lived in New York, I ate pizza like every other day. All right. 150 samplings is enough. I ate Brooklyn pizza. I ate Manhattan pizza. Upper East Side, Upper West Side, Canal Street, Broadway, all up and down. Dude, I would rather eat at Wendy's than eat a slice of New York pizza. Although Wendy's used to be better than it is now. I actually kind of like Wendy's, even though it's terrible. You need to be drunk before you have New York pizza. Yeah, that helps. Did I like living in New York City? Not really, no. Wendy's used to be awesome. It's pretty trashy now, honestly. Like, it's not good. You know what else isn't good? In-N-Out. In-N-Out is not good. Everybody thinks it's good. Maybe again because it used to be good, like in the 1980s. Wendy's fries are better. Yeah, I'm down with Wendy's French fries. Yeah. Whataburger? I don't like Whataburger that much. There's a chain that's at least in San Francisco called Super Duper Burger. Those are pretty good. There's like a national chain called Smash Burger that is not bad, but it's also kind of nasty. It's just really super grease. I'm on thin ice. Dude, I was born in California. I was born in Southern California back when In-N-Out was better than it is today. I can see the delta, okay? In-N-Out is not good. Everybody just thinks it's good because they have no ability to think for themselves. Or they're comparing it to McDonald's. All right, In-N-Out is better than McDonald's. Clearly. It is not actually good. Smash Burger isn't that good. It's better than In-N-Out. Five Guys. I've never been to a Five Guys, or not that I remember. But if I get a hamburger in San Francisco at a chain restaurant, it's going to be Super Duper Burger, probably. Or Umami Burger, actually. Umami Burger is good as well. It's just some of their burgers are weird. Rome. Oh yeah, I forgot about Rome. Rome is good too. Yeah. I'm actually not sure that Rome is the best quality-wise, but yeah, no, it's totally decent. So Rome, Umami, or Super Duper Burger are the Bay Area hamburger. I wouldn't even call them chains because like they don't have a ton of places, but you know, like non-individual restaurants where you can go around the Bay Area and get a good burger. Umami's in LA. Okay, cool. Got's in the Ferry Building. Pearls is in the Tenderloin. Yeah, I mean, I'm not counting one-off places. Like, there are really good restaurants where you can get a better burger than you can at a chain. We're talking about chain burger places. Is the Ferry Building open again? Last I checked, there was like construction and it didn't look open. If I ever come to Chiang Mai, there's a place called Maya's Burger. I was in Chiang Mai in 2004. That's actually where I was when I started programming Braid. I was in Chiang Mai. How did I like Chiang Mai? Like, it was all right. It's just, like, I've been to Thailand 3 or 4 times, and all the time, the number one problem is that Thais don't seem to care that much if everything around them is full of trash. And it makes it less of a nice place to visit because it's a beautiful country otherwise, but you go somewhere and there's just garbage everywhere. Like the Maping River was just like basically sewage, which is nasty. It's like the main river in Chiang Mai that's supposed to be nice. So I think that'll change over time, but you know. Also, the other thing, you know, oh, are we effed? We should be okay. Hopefully we're not effed. No, if you say ka, you're a woman. So the other thing about it that is probably better today is like way back then, you know, everybody would do tuk-tuks to go everywhere because there weren't, like now, I guess, at least on the islands that I've been to, everybody would rent little motorcycle scooter things. And they're just a lot cleaner exhaust-wise than the tuk-tuks were. And so you, like if you were around town anywhere, just like everything smelled like gasoline. And like there were all these loud, rackety vehicles everywhere. But I assume that that's better now in Chiang Mai. But I don't actually know because I haven't been there in a long time. You use motorbikes, yeah. Yeah, so like just a little over a year ago, I was on Koh Phangan, and yeah, everyone was doing bikes. Although I've never ridden a bike, so like I didn't want to, I sort of tried for a little bit to ride a bike, and I was just like, I'm not confident enough riding this thing in this place with very low visibility and very sharp curves and where a lot of people drive around very dangerously, so I'm just not going to do it, you know. So I walked or took taxis when I was there, but yeah. But I mean, you know, Thai food, honestly, is some of the best food in the world. Like, it's just really delicious. Something Thai people know how to put flavors together, you know. So even, you know, even in San Francisco here, we have a lot of Thai restaurants. I go to them often. And the surprising thing that I found is that actual restaurants in Thailand are not that different from Thai restaurants here. Whereas if you go to like a Chinese restaurant here versus a Chinese restaurant in China, it's super different, you know. So that's interesting. Thai pizza is just amazing. I've never had Thai pizza. You were worried too, but you just did it as it was easier to get around. Yeah. I mean, if I just had, like, if I go to Thailand again, before I go, I mean, it won't happen for a while with all this virus stuff probably, but before I go, I'm just going to, you know, take some scooter lessons here for a few days in a relatively mellow place where there's like no traffic, right? And then when I go, I'll just have some experience like driving the frickin' thing around, and it won't be as crazy. You think American Thai food tastes better than Thai food? That has not been my experience. My experience has been that Thai food in Thailand is a little bit better than Thai food in America, but it's not tremendously better. It's not like totally different. Although there is stuff that they do in Thailand that you won't find at a restaurant here. Hey, we passed the Benny test. An extra level failed, or maybe two. I'm not really going to worry about it yet, probably. So one of the things that they do, so some friends and I just got invited to go hang out on a farm with some Thai people at one point. And they have this great thing that they do where they just start up like you're just chilling outside. It's warm. It's like afternoon. Maybe it's 12 p.m. It's like lunch, kind of. And you just start up this big soup thing. Kind of like you see in Thai restaurants sometimes where there's like a flame just heating this soup container. But instead of just heating it for a little bit, it's just like going for hours. And you're just chilling. And you're having like a 3 or 4 hour lunch / dinner. And you just keep throwing stuff in the soup thing, right? It's maybe a little bit like hot pot in China, but it's actually a totally different thing. You know, I don't know if there's a name for that, but it's really good. Have I tried Cambodian food? Yes, I was in Cambodia last year as well. We had some fish amok. It was interesting. I'm not sure that that's my favorite spice exactly, but it's interesting. Like an American barbecue? I guess so. I never related that, but like an American barbecue, yeah, you kind of maybe you're chilling in your backyard or you go to the park and you're just cooking stuff for a long time. It is kind of like that. but different. It's pretty different though in reality. Is the interview uploaded somewhere in better quality? Probably not yet, but I think that'll happen eventually. Chinese hot pot is not really meant for extended periods, yeah. I think hot pot is generally like hotter and more intense. We need to do something about this flickering. All right, we're going to check this in after we get rid of our no check-in. Let me check the pizza. There's no way that it's anywhere near ready. The best thing is Uber Eats lies to you because it says preparing your order. But like, it says that until someone picks it up. So like, and then it gets here and it's cold. So like, it was actually finished for like 25 minutes before anyone ever went and picked it up. Tiny F. All right. Tiny F. Hopefully we stabilize. Yeah, Twitch does seem less stable during the whole coronavirus time, but like especially the last month, don't you think? Like, it's like they broke something trying to refactor it or something, and it just doesn't work that well anymore. You just saw Upstream Color? Good movie. Good movie. Is there a reason why I started streaming game development? I don't know. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. Twitch is broken ever since it was called Justin TV. Yeah, I guess. All right. We're gonna take out our no check-in, and we just made a note instead. And then we're going to check in and then do some more things. Work toward allowing multiple oceans. Look at all these files we're changing. All right. Great. So now we want to make oceans have dynamic meshes. Honestly, I kind of want to take a break because my brain wants food, but I was stupid and ordered it from Uber Eats, so it's going to be like an hour before we get that. Hoping for a pizza review. I got approximately the same pizza I always get. It's going to be good. Have I read Infinite Jest? Yes. I really should stop doing Uber Eats. Like there's an umami burger that's not that close to where I live that I order from sometimes. And I can walk there in like 20 minutes. And I'm pretty confident that there's more than 20 minutes of delay between when they finish and when I get it from Uber Eats, right? So I could literally wait until they finish the hamburger and walk there and still be eating it a little bit sooner, you know? It just doesn't. Did I get the correct garlic bread? I didn't get garlic bread. Some of these pizza places, the garlic bread is not good. You know a streamer that spends $60K on Uber Eats a year? That's a lot. That's like 3 meals a day. Caviar is generally your favorite delivery. I tried Caviar once and they delivered a pizza upside down. It was bad. And it was late and cold. Doesn't the pizza place deliver themselves? This one doesn't. But if I order from North Beach Pizza, which is not as good, they actually deliver. And maybe I'll just start doing that. It'll bring me back to my college days of North Beach Pizza. Okay. So, let's start looking at dynamic mesh. Okay. So we're just going to do this. Now, I feel like there's a flag for dynamic mesh. Entity has dynamically generated mesh. Who sets that? In the entities themselves. All right, so ocean map is also gonna get that. And then regenerate mesh. Okay, well, we're just gonna copy this function and then do something else. It probably there's no reason to copy it, but okay. Whoops, not there. Ocean. There we go. I guess we'll do can destroy. In the overload of regenerate mesh for while set period. Okay. For now, we're just like, we're going to generate it square by square. I guess. Like with the 3D version, we're checking neighbors because, you know, if you have two cubes, you don't want to generate the face that's between those two cubes because that's wasted geometry and fill rate and all that. But for this and the, yeah, okay. If do this. So our fail case, if for some reason we can't make a mesh, all right. If, so we're going to say any geometry is false. Let's just add one quad, right? We're eventually going to want to do all the squares because we want to be able to put holes in it and stuff. Yeah. I shouldn't leave my phone over there charging because somehow I might miss the pizza. Great. Uber Eats totally exited. Come on, guys. Get your act together. Oh, 6 minutes. We're going to get pizza, everybody. All right. I'm going to take a stream break and eat some pizza and come back and we'll do a pickup stream afterward. You've studied physics and you're currently doing your PhD in theoretical physics. You would like to work as a game programmer. Do you want to do independent game programming? I have a couple minutes to answer this question. Do you want to do independent game programming or like for a big company? Because it's different. Wow, guys, my pizza like might actually not be horrible and cold this time. Oh, it's going to be great. And then we'll come back on later and we'll continue this thing that we're doing with procedural mesh, etc. Big company. So big companies, it's not very hard to get hired as a programmer if you show that you're able to program things like simple games even, or demos. And so you want to make just a little portfolio of stuff that you did, right? I think you said as a programmer, yeah. So, you know, whether it's just a simple game with non-fancy graphics, like the thing that you can't really do as a solo person or that's very hard is to have things that are visually impressive, like stylistically, or that have a ton of like meshes or whatever that are hand authored. But you just do some demos that are different, like maybe procedurally generated stuff or stuff with a lot of particles. Like, hey, that's physics. I mean, it's not theoretical physics, but like, you know, you do a particle renderer. Just stuff like that. And then you go in for a job and you're automatically way ahead of most other people who just are just out of college and like, look, I did my... Actually, some schools, people have pretty impressive... oh, now it says 8 minutes. Great. Why is the car driving the wrong way? Some schools, people actually have pretty impressive things that they worked on these days, but it tends to be with a large team. And when you're interviewing them, you never know how much they were really responsible for on that project, right? So if you can show something and say, hey, I did most or all of the programming here, that really gets you in the door at most places. And so if you don't have the skill set to do that yet, or just haven't done it, then that's the thing to work on. Because if you can't do that, you're not going to have a good time at one of these companies anyway, right? So you want to just be able to sit down and do some stuff. What if you wanted to work independently? Then it's kind of the same but different. If you wanted to work independently, you're not so worried about showing stuff to people, right? And so you don't need to work on something that looks like a good demo. You just need to work on something that works toward your own goals, or that that's a test of your own skill or a way to raise your own skill, right? Now it's 9 minutes. What is going on? This dude is like driving. So first of all, it says Allison, but it's definitely a dude. I mean, I assumed his gender, but it sure looks like a dude. And then the car is just driving somewhere else. I am going to cancel this if it doesn't. Like, what are you doing? Do you have other orders too? Usually it says driver is delivering your other order. What the? Okay, this is officially the last time that I use Uber Eats. Honestly, this is just pissing me off. Like, the minimum from where this guy is driven now, he's going to have to go 4 times as far to get back to my place as it was just from the pizza place. At least 5 times. Driving around protesters. This is not really the area where there would be protesters today. I mean, maybe there's something. That could be actually... I mean, he very easily could have gone around this particular way, but maybe there is something... some kind of street situation happening. Okay, he is actually kind of coming this way. Now it's still like 8 minutes now. We're at T plus 2 minutes of when the pizza was supposed to get here, and now it's 8 minutes. There's also construction. Yeah, not that much everywhere. Like the dude is driving through central Bernal Heights to go from 16th and Valencia to essentially the Zynga building, which is near where I live. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy how far out of the way. Like, is like the Folsom Street Fair or something happening today? No, none of those are happening because of disease. Yeah, maybe there's just something giant happening today. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, I would assume if there were protests that they would be happening like downtown or Civic Center or something. That's usually where the protests happen. Is Borderlands still open? The bookstore is. The cafe is not. So here we say add cube, add quad. Okay, so we go add quad, PM, P0, let's call these so this is going to be integers, and then no, you know what it is? This guy's just delivering something in Bernal Heights, or he's going home. He's just stopped in Bernal Heights. Fuck Uber Eats, dude. Like, seriously, again, I could have walked to the pizza place in less time than this will have taken. Like, after it was ready. I could have waited till the pizza was ready and then walked to the pizza place. Okay. Yeah, this isn't a wall data. This is ocean grid corner. Oh, we don't. Right. So we're just adding these legs of the square. Can I like rescind my tip? Like Uber Eats makes you tip in advance. How does this work? Oh my God, dude. As soon as this gets here, I'm shutting down my account, man. All right. It's like if this just happened once on Uber Eats, it would be like, okay, you put up with it. But it's like, this is the most egregious example. This is the most ridiculous thing, but it's just almost never good anymore. It used to be good a couple of years ago, but now it's almost always a terrible experience. All right. Yeah, it's probably still delivering pizzas from yesterday. Quite possibly. All right, so we're going to do this. We're making a quad, and so all this down here, like we set this to true, but later we're going to iterate and look at all the squares. And I don't know. Probably messed some things up already, but okay. Let's just do this. Vec3? What? Oh, V3. Confused. Oh, yeah. just do this. Okay, whatever. Wanted pointer to procedural mesh. Messed up so many things. So now he's going through this circuitous route to get on the freeway so he can come north on the freeway. Oh my God. Like, do they think that we can't see this? All right. 598. Okay. Okay, this is weird. See, this code assumes that if you ever had a dynamically generated mesh, you always will. And now this is complicated because we're like, all right, maybe this will just work. Hopefully that's okay. All right, he's going to be on the freeway soon. Oh my God. Well, we're running. Hey, we've got an ocean mesh, I guess. Kinda. I really did mess up the geometry. So what's going on is it's drawing it 3 by 3 because I really messed something up. P0, P1, oh. Let's just make this P0 plus. All right. Well. There we go. So now we just have this thing where it's not in the right position for various reasons. So first of all, it doesn't have this half square offset, right? We want to offset it by -0.5, -0.5. And then we want to change the material to be the water material, right? But once we have done these things, well, and then I need to do something about like right now it's clamping it to 0, 0 or something. And the mesh is offset. Something like that is happening. I don't actually know. I don't know why it's snapping way up here. Oh, it's maybe, oh, okay. It's something to do with the fact that the level is wrapping. So this is the actual level. It's just putting it in the middle for some reason. All right, everybody, I'm going to go get my pizza, and I'll be back later after I've done a hostile takeover of Uber Eats and shut down the company. All right. We'll be back in a bit. See you guys.